Yeah.
All right, Dick. Well, we were just talking about school. This is another school-related problem.
Okay.
Now, we all had our favorite teachers in school, of course, but some of our teachers were not our favorites because they were creeps. Okay. Now, I think we've talked about this a little bit before, but I wanted to make an official problem on the board because I had some stories of my own to share. This is the problem of touchy teachers. These are teachers who you just want to send your kid to school, you know, because you have to. You're forced to,
right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. You're forced to send your kid to school.
Oh yeah.
And then you go, well, hopefully the teachers will teach
hopefully
my kids.
No one rapes them.
Yeah, hopefully no one rapes them. It's the first thing you think. And then they get raped, and you go, well.
And then you hope that they keep all the liberal shit at a minimum.
Yeah,
but
they can't do that at all. We got to get those. There's a lot of the pride flags going on. Well, Dick, a report from the Center. Let me give a couple stats. A report from the Center for Public Integrity found that between 2008 and 2018, nearly 3,000 educators were investigated or charged with sexual abuse. Again, these are just the ones who are actually investigated.
Wait, how many? 3,000?
3,000 in a 10-year period.
Huh.
But that's just the ones that were investigated. Because a lot of these guys
By the cops?
By the cops, yeah. So actually were reported and faced allegations. So perhaps criminal allegations.
Okay.
Interestingly, the highest ranking state for sexual assault, you want to give a guess? You're not going to get
Washington or Oregon?
Washington's in the top 4. Wow.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Because they got a lot of sex criminals up there, man. I don't know. Yeah, they do. They do.
Number 1 was Georgia by a long,
by a long
per
shot?
1,000. No, but like they're ahead of the pack. Per 1,000 students, they have a rate of 1.09. For every 1,000 students, one of them will be sexually assaulted.
Wow.
And the next closest one is Hawaii at 0.78. So I guess down in Georgia, they're just like, it's a kid. You touch him a little bit. What are you going to do?
That's weird.
It is weird. It's just like Georgia. Then it's Georgia, Hawaii, Maryland, Washington. California's not on here despite all our like gay
Washington,
bullshit.
The state.
Washington, the state, yes.
Okay. It's kind of all over the place.
California's not in the top 10, even though we're making all the kids gay. So what does that say? I don't know.
Because they're just raping them ideologically.
Interestingly, though, they also track separately the highest ranking states for actual rape, not just or attempted rape, not just sexual assault.
Okay.
Top state there is Missouri. So I don't know what's going on there. Followed by Kansas. And then number 3, my home state of Massachusetts.
Oh.
And, well, I have a couple stories about that.
Okay.
Now,
You're a teacher?
I think I've mentioned this on the show before, but my school had a number of incidents that I want to talk about.
Okay.
Okay. The first was, I don't remember this teacher's name, but this definitely happened. There was a teacher. It was a female teacher.
Ooh.
Okay.
Was she hot?
I don't remember. I didn't have her.
Okay, so no.
Probably not.
Yeah, you would know.
But, well, she fell in love with a 15-year-old student. They actually moved to Vermont and eloped. Okay?
That's the rape.
That's the rape. That's he got locked into a relationship with an older woman at 15. That's a bad one. Now, here's one I got a little more details on.
Wow.
And this was
eloped?
Yeah, this was
where?
Vermont, like a cabin in the middle of nowhere, just so they could keep fucking it out, I guess.
And they got married?
Yeah, they got like actually married. I think she might have had to wait till he was like a little. I don't know what the age of marriage is in Vermont. You might be able to get married at like 16. Probably.
Too low. They got to change the age of consent for marriage to like 65.
That would be good. Yeah. That would be helpful. Now we also had, and I didn't have this teacher. I was very lucky that I didn't have. A lot of this stuff happened, and I just got to hear about it and read the news articles. This one was actually in the news.
Okay.
We had a science teacher named Mr. Gurnie. Okay? And everybody said, Mr. Gurnie. It's so weird. The kids and the students alike were like, Mr. Gurnie's kind of a creep. Huh?
Yeah.
And like, you can just have it. This was like, I don't know, like 20 years ago, your teacher could just be a creep, and everybody knew about it, and it was
they're
fine.
still a creep, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all over.
Well, here's the thing.
They're sending like squads they send like activity squads into schools to do shit.
Really?
They're full of fucking creeps.
There's a lot of creeps.
You really got to be on guard for that shit.
Well, everybody would notice that the female students in class, he would like hover over them when they were working and be like, yeah, that's some good math there, you know, kind of like draping over them. And so the goof in high school was, And this guy had been teaching. He was like an old guy. He'd been teaching for 30 years. So this was a goof that had been handed down. Like parents of kids were like, oh, yeah, we used to do that to Mr. Gurnie all the time.
Yeah.
Was to take a bunch of chalk and rub it on the edge of the desk. Because when he was talking to female students, he would just be banging his crotch against the desk and rubbing against it. And he would always have a big chalk stain on his crotch. And this was something that, again, parents would be like, yeah, hey, you want to get Mr. Gurnie good? You want to get him?
Yeah, get him.
Rub chalk on the desk because that horny old man will rub his shit against it.
Yeah.
Gurney, who worked as a coach and a referee as well as teaching science for 22 years in Amherst, was arrested during a federal investigation of child pornography called Operation Watchdog.
What?
Police found 573 images and 85 movies at his apartment featuring.
That's it?
Featuring. Well,
Usually they have like terabytes.
well, the thing is, he wasn't downloading it. This was back like
He's making it himself.
No. Maybe. I don't know. He was going on websites and accessing it, so he might not have been downloading it. But they say he had been doing it.
I mean, that's the one kind of porn that you should download if you.
I'm not
You
saying
can't
anything
find
about
it again.
that.
I mean, how are you going to find it again?
I don't know, and I
Right?
don't want to know. But they said as recently as the same day they arrested him, he was still accessing that website. Like, how much does it suck that not only are you looking at child porn, but you can't go, that was like, again, like what's his name said? That guy from The Who, or what was it, Pete Townsend? You can't be like, I was just doing research. I was just doing research.
Yeah.
It's like you were doing research every day for the past month. So that was how Mr. Gurney got brought
How
down.
are there not more like honeypots for that? Like, how hard is it to make a fake
child
whatever
porn website?
I guess that'd be entrapment. Like, is that legal for them to do?
I think
Because
probably.
it's hard to make one real one. It's easy to make millions of.
I think part of the
bogus
problem
ones.
is that I think the FBI, you're not allowed to like post that stuff even if you are the FBI.
So they're allowed to like do fake kidnapping plots.
I
of
think
the
like Google
governor,
has to
but-
like look, because Google will like scan like anything that gets uploaded to Google Drive to try and find it.
Yeah.
But I think they have to have it on like an encrypted drive that no human being has access to. And that the
think?
computer, I don't fucking know. That so like that way, there's no one ever has to see it. It's just like
I'm
they
just
compare
saying,
it
like,
to
why don't
what's
they make
on-
a bunch of bogus sites?
but when you sign up, it goes, haha, you're a pedophile.
Puts Lemon Party on it.
I don't think you can put a guy in jail for that.
Just dox them.
Haha, you're a
Problem takes care
pedophile.
of
I
itself.
got you. There's
Yeah.
no child porn here. I don't think that would hold up in court. I think you
But
actually have to
the
access
point is,
the
like, there's so
content.
many of them to get through that the pedophiles could never get to real child porn.
Yeah.
Because they're just endlessly going like, oh, shoot, back, click, oh, shoot, back, click, oh, shoot, right?
And that's when you run in while they're in the middle of refreshing the page. All right. Now, here's the one. This is the big one, and this is why I wanted to talk about this. And I've mentioned this before, but I have a little more details this time.
Okay.
So, back when I was in high school, I think I was a freshman. I might have been in middle school. I might have been in middle school and it was happening to the high school.
Ooh, you're getting younger.
I think I was 1 year away from
You're
high
young
school.
and tight.
So I got away. I did not have this guy as my principal.
Okay.
He left the year I entered. His name was Steve Meyers, or Stephen Meyers.
Okay.
And I lived in a very liberal town, Amherst, Massachusetts. And they
Lot
loved
of
this guy
pedophiles.
because he was a weird, like, kind of California hippie guy, you know? And, he was, like, fun and loose and, hanging out or whatever. And they're like, this guy's cool and he's down to earth and, he really connects with the kids.
Ooh,
And,
with his dick.
Well,
Ooh.
he, for some reason, there was a kid and he invited him over his house he said, hey, I got a hot tub. Why don't you come over and we'll hang out in the hot tub? And then apparently,
grill some wieners.
Well,
Steam some wieners.
here's what's interesting is I don't think the kid was sexually assaulted, but he was like, hey, why are you wearing a shirt in the hot tub? And the kid's like, well, I'm a little uncomfortable about my body. He
He was
goes,
Mexican.
hey, take that shirt off. Let's see those nips. And the kid's like, okay.
got ghost
he
nips, or
deliberately asked. He's like, let me see your nipples. I think the kid might have said, I chafe or something. He's like, let me take a look at those bad boys. And everybody was like, somehow it came out. Like, I think that kid was like, yeah, Mr. Meyers had me come over his house. I was in his hot tub and he asked to see my nipples. And thankfully, someone in the
It was already bad with the hot tub. It didn't need to get into the nipples.
I was actually it's actually kind of good that the school district went, well, that's strange. Like, that's not good.
Yeah.
It's not like specifically pedophilia,
Like, it's not
but
is it Chuck Penis?
right.
Is it that guy?
It's not the Chuck
it's a
Penis
little bit
guy.
worse.
No, it's our cool new principal. And you're like, okay. So they're like, well, let's look into it. And they looked into it. Now, when it first came out, again, this guy's kind of like a liberal hippie douche. So there was a lot of parents who were like, "Oh, he's just that way. He's fun with the kids or whatever else.
He's
not a big
he's just
deal.
like that.
He's
He
just a
rapes
free
kids.
spirit.
No
What can you do?"
Yeah.
And then someone from the Santa Cruz Police Department, we don't know who, heard that this happened. And he said, I know that guy. You guys should check out this document I have. And he sent over a document that was a police interview from 1996 where Steve Meyers went, "Yeah, I raped those 2 kids." Admitted in an interrogation, "Yeah, I molested 2 kids."
Did
What do
they
you
ask
do?
him
What
in
do
the
you
hiring process?
I mean,
you haven't raped any
I don't
kids,
think you
have
do that. I guess it's probably not part
No,
of
you should definitely. That's the one
Well,
place.
you need, like-
you could do that anywhere, but that's the one place you really
The problem
should
is
do it.
that he never got criminal charges filed against him. It's like he had a file, but it wasn't like
Just
a
ask.
criminal.
Have you ever raped any kids?
You got to gauge their response.
Well, I've never been arrested for. That's not what I said. Next.
Yeah, you got to get out of here. So that came out, and they fired the guy, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they're like, well, again, with the Santa Cruz thing or whatever, they're like, well, statute of limitations, it's more than like 10 years. We can't do anything about it. So you think that if you were like,
They can't do anything about raping kids?
no, like, dude, statute of limitations on rape used to be like a pretty firm, like 8 to 10 years.
And then they changed it for
they've
kids, and
changed
women
it.
start sending celebrities to jail.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
amazing. Amazing.
That's exactly
Amazing.
That's exactly what
God
happened.
fucking damn it. Oh, you guys did something to protect kids? Danny Masterson raped me. Really? Yeah. It was right at the beginning of the statute.
I don't know. Yeah, it was right. I'm still grandfathered in.
God damn it.
So
Fucking women.
as an aside to this, the after the investigation, Child Protective Services, Mr. Meyers had adopted a child. He had a 4-year-old child living with him.
Was he single?
I think he might have been. Yeah, I don't know if he had I don't know if he was gay or whatever. He had a wife. I don't know.
No, he's a pedophile.
Well, they took the kid away, and then apparently it fucked up the kid so badly because 9 years later, the kid stabbed a guy to death in a St. Patrick's Day brawl
Someone
and
that
got
looked like
15 to 20. Yeah, he probably saw a guy, and he's like, "That's my fucking adopted dad." He stabbed the guy, and he got 15 to 20 years in prison. That's just a weird aside. So, okay, you've been out.
I mean, it's not. It's like very apropos.
So here's where it gets worse. So you've just been exposed. This is the second time that you've had to leave. Actually, I think it was like the third time you had to leave a school district for being a creep. And he goes, I know what I'll do. And he changed his name to something like, I don't want to say, like Chaim Meyers. And he got a job at a Jewish school molesting Jewish kids. And then he got caught again, and he went to a Christian school in Africa to molest African kids.
That should have been the move.
That
Jewish. Why don't you go molest Japanese kid? You know?
He just keeps moving around.
He's like a priest.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it's crazy that like he's never been charged with anything. But here's the thing is, we all remember Mr. Girl, who I also went, again, we were in the same high school. And he was in the high school.
He got molested, 100%.
He saw it going on. He was in the high school when this was happening.
Literally?
He was in the school as this was going on. Now, I've talked to Mr. Girl for many years, and I said, somebody's really got to, like, fucking expose this guy. It's crazy, this story of this guy who's been molesting kids everywhere. And then a couple, like, maybe 6 months ago, I go, what are you working on right now? And he goes, I'm like 6 months into making a documentary about Stephen Meyers. And I go, are you kidding me? And, dude, he's been telling me the shit he found out, that there was, like, the first school the guy taught at, or like he like established a school, or he like was the head of it or whatever. It was called like the traveling school.
Traveling pants?
Bro, the stories he has told me about this school, he's going and he's interviewing people who used to be at the school.
Oh my
And they're like the weird, like psycho, almost sexual, like rituals they would like humiliation rituals he would put kids through, where you're like, this is not good. How did no one know? It kind of sounds like it was a cult.
Yeah.
Like, this is the most, he was doing, like, fucked up cult stuff. And Mr. Girl is, like, talking to people who taught at the school, and they still, like, can't get it through their head where they're like, yeah, he was like, kind of a bad guy. But you know what? Like he taught, like, some of them are like, but he was really good for the kids. And you're like, dude, this was a cult. Like, they thought this was a good guy.
Yeah.
Real quick, do you want to see the documentary for this trailer or for this movie?
Sure.
Okay, go to Steve. Or here, Steve Meyers, Meyers project.org.
Org.
Yeah. You can't get .com. Well, I guess I don't know.
Oh no, Mr.
Look at this
Girl.
dude. He's got and also the weird thing with Mr. Girl is I'm like, hey, Mr. Girl, you don't have to interview everyone. And he goes, yeah, I've interviewed 44 different people. Like every time I call him, he's in Santa Cruz interviewing more of these kids and former teachers.
Really?
Yes. This is like going to be the most expansive Mr. Girl project ever. And it's like going to be.
Is he going to get it on like Sundance or something?
That
What's
is
the end game
what
here?
Yeah, he wants to sell it to like.
Try to get it there?
Bro, he's taking it super seriously. And the more like I've just been talking to him on the phone and the stuff he's telling me, I'm like, this is fucking insane.
This is like, it reads
I
like
thought it was just like, oh, this guy's going around raping kids. It's like, no, he was like
a cult leader.
What was that
Kid
fucking
rapes.
what was that show? True Detective season 1?
Yeah.
Where they're trying to find the yellow
King.
man
Yeah.
and they're dressing up kids with fucking like horns on their head and shit. It's like that deeply disturbing.
The website reads like now with all new flavors. Like 44 pedophile interviews, filmed and counting. Don't go anywhere else to get your kid rape documentaries. Come right over here to Mr. Girl's kid raping documentary. Oh, you hate this stuff, folks? Me too. Nobody hates it more than me.
I'm excited. Can you hit Control Plus? It zooms in a little bit. Control and the plus. Yeah. There we go. That's creepy as hell. And again, this guy is just still.
That's his mugshot? That's a shitty mugshot.
It's not good. I don't even know if it's a mugshot or not. Again, he's never been arrested.
I have information to share. Should I click that and fill it out?
No, don't fuck with the. Here's the other thing. He's trying to interview people, and I don't know if he wants me to say this, but whatever. He goes, yeah, I do videos as this guy named Mr. Girl. And then people look him up and they're like, I'm not doing an interview with you. And I go, Max, stop calling yourself Mr. Girl to people. Just say I'm Max Carson. But even to Max Carson, they look it up. I was like, dude, just call yourself Superstar Productions or whatever.
Rosenbaum.
Right. But then he's so like hung up on this moral stuff. He's like, these people were lied to their whole lives. I can't lie to them again. And I'm like, all right, man, it's just going to make it harder to get these fucking interviews. Anyway, I actually have not watched this yet. I've been saving it.
Okay.
It's only a minute.
I think that his entire educational career was always about having access to boys, 100%. I think that's why he chose education. I think that's why he created traveling school. Let's get the kids away from their parents. Let's
it was a school
get
where they
them
took the
where
kids
I'm
away
in
from their
charge of
parents and
them.
like
I'm in
went
charge of
around.
their food, their shelter, everything having to do with them. And I've got my teachers with me, which was me and several others that have been with him since we were very young. So we were trained.
Why does it sound like it's raining?
It must be like, I don't know. Dude, these are all victims.
Why is it like...
I just doing like a little like heartbeat.
It's like
kinda.
the Babadook. The Babadook's going to come out.
I'm going to say you got to cut down a little bit of that audio grain. But other than that, look at the cinematography on that fucking thing. He's got a good camera.
He should have put a picture of himself at the end. With like a picture of his butt.
Bro, like he's got, I don't know what I can share, but he's got people who are like trying to shut this down.
This is
They're
good.
threatening lawsuits. This is becoming a whole
is he filming
fucking
behind the
thing.
scenes stuff? That could be its own film. Like Catfish, but
I mean, I've said like he should put
Pedofish.
some of himself in there. I don't know, but
yeah, you got to become the documentary. That's cool.
I think there's going to be some of it. Like, yeah, it's like him being like, well, I went to this school. Here's what happened. Obviously, everyone's obsessed with fucking pedophilia right now. And so I hope he talks about, that kind of shit. He's the guy who's lived through it 100%. He had to make songs about
I
it.
want to hear that. White
crunch.
noise machine.
It's kind of, I get what he's going for. It needs a little deeper. It needs some bass.
No, it needs like somebody to go,
So-
I'll get you, my,
Yeah. you want. Well, here's the thing: is like the money shot is if you could somehow get that guy on tape, but I don't think
Steve
it's
Meyers?
Yeah, but I don't think it's possible.
You got to trick him.
But he's got like archival footage. Like he's got like old fucking home
pose
movies
as, like,
of the
a little
guy.
boy.
Yeah,
and
he should
chat
set a
with
thing
him.
up.
Get an AI of a little boy like his blackface thing, and then do a Zoom call.
Yeah,
and then be the little boy and get him to confess.
He should team up with Alex
you
Rosen.
Touch me?
At one point, Alex Rosen and Mr. Girl were going to have like a sit-down conversation, and it didn't happen, sadly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm hoping they get. I think I don't know. Like I think
there's one surefire way to get a sit down with Alex Rosen.
There is a very easy way to do it. Is to be a Kino Casino fan. He'll talk to all of them. So look, it's a little bit of a plug, but again, I really find this whole subject. I'm like,
it's a big plug, but that sounds like a really great documentary.
That's the thing. Is like this is a story that for the longest time everybody went to my high school is like, how does everyone not know this story? This is like horrifying,
real titillating and disgusting.
And I can't believe it took until Mr. Girl showed up to be like, you know. And thankfully, he, had his whole blow up with Destiny, so now he has plenty of time to focus on other shit. Guys, check out
a subtitle though.
Yeah,
like the Steve Meyers Project: the man who raped kids.
Well, I told him to call it American Pedophile, which would have been a way better title. Like, come on,
that's a horrible title. American Splendor.
I was born in the USA. I've been diddling kids in the USA. American
You should reshoot
Pedophile.
this movie. Keep the interviews and the B-roll and just you narrate a whole different movie, American Pedophile.
That'd be pretty good. I can see the T-shirt already. That'd be a good movie poster, like an Oliver Stone kind of thing. Why does Oliver Stone not make
American Pedophile?
American Pedophile is a good movie title. Anyway, guys, check out SteveMeyersProject.org or follow Twitter for updates at Steve Meyers Film. Again, that's Myers, Myers.
Thank you for watching this clip by Colonel J. This is the King of Bold here. Remember to like and subscribe. Juice!